Hi, Kathryn with Yoga from the Heart with Kathryn, and we're going to do restorative practice today. Uh, have not been on my mat for a few days, had a little bit of a derail, um, and am okay, but had to take a few days off. So it's time to get back. Charlotte and Sweet Pea, my two kitties, were pretty excited about when I talked to them, counseled them, do we need to do yoga? And they said, yeah. So anyway, we're going to get going on that. I'm shuffling uh, from my Earth Magic deck. It is right in the middle of a really cool uh, full moon this weekend. And so I thought connect with the earth and the moon and all that stuff. Also, I'll be putting my water out later to charge that. I have to show a couple neat things that I have. You guys can all be jelly about that, but I have a friend, Angie, who has been very creative, and she's made some moon water bottles. And this one is a repurposed glass bottle. You see how she put that on there? It's really cool. And also, I have that one, and then this one, and it's a little harder to see, so I'll put it in front of me. But it's got the phases of the moon, and then the element for water, and then a little rose on the back of it. So just kind of cool stuff. And I know that she's, shout out to her because she's doing some stuff on her business. So if you're interested, just give me a note. Remember that my practices are donation based. Portion of the proceeds will go to the Lifted Lotus Yoga Collective. Excuse me, can't talk right now. This is a yoga studio that I teach at also. So I'm just kind of keeping those donation based doors open and my YouTube stuff open. So all's good. So for restorative practice today, have at least 2 blocks and a couple pillows from the small cushion pillows. I just realized I don't have mine down, so I'll grab them before I get onto my mat. A couple of the smaller pillows, perhaps for your elbows when we're back in our reclining goddess. And then also, I have my bolster, and I've got a blanket that I'm going to be using to roll up and lie underneath my arms for one of our movement practices. So a very large bath towel would work. We'll just be rolling it up and laying it underneath the back side of the shoulder blade out from the extension of the arms. So if you want to go ahead and get those, that would be awesome. And while you're doing that, I'm going to shuffle the deck a couple more times. Okay. So, and the thing that's kind of cool too is when this is on the YouTube thing, I believe you can pause it. So you can say, oh, I need to go get this, right? Yeah, so there it is. It's a new platform, a newer platform for me, and I'm still experiencing it. So I have the fireplace on. It's still a little chilly at night, but spring is here, and with that, garden centers are starting to provide new plants and seeds, and so we're all excited about that, and people being outside. So anyway, so if you're ready, go ahead and have a seat and get yourself comfy. I'm gonna get my deck here, and again, this is the Earth Magic deck. It's by Stephen Farmer. Kind of cool dude, neat stuff. And the cards are of the tree, the branches overhead, and the roots going deep down, so showing the balance of how we are connected with the earth. And I'm going to shuffle this one more and draw here, see what we get. Okay. Oh, it says autumn equinox, but it's release. Okay. So the card, and I'll have to find the book, the thing to read, was just what we did. So release. Let's see what we got. Autumn equinox. Doo doo doo. How are you all doing? How are you all doing? There we go. Okay, release. Many areas of the world, deciduous trees prepare for the winter and conserve their energy by contracting their force. That is, they release their leaves, which have required the rays of the sun and nourishment from the earth, in order to maintain the robust growth and appearance. It's not a decision that the tree makes, at least not the usual sense. Instead, it's a natural response to the decreasing cycles of light that sets up the gradual and steady release of the tree's leaves. How remarkable is that the tree's leaves, and in the same manner all of Mother Earth and our children, simply know what to do with the changes in the climate. Okay. Although this seasonal shift appears to be the death of sorts, it's only a preparation for the next cycle of life, one will naturally follow a more extreme contraction as winter, as the aspect of life, death, recycle, rebirth happens. And we find represented in so many ways. And here, as I am just talking about, it, is spring. So we have that portion of stuff going on right now. So release. Maybe we can just look at this as letting this restorative posture, or restorative practice, release anything that we have within us that is stuck, or just not letting us go to the next. Maybe we're afraid, maybe there's something that we need to talk about to another person, a decision that we need to make. So just release any of that self-doubt and perhaps just focus on the next. Maybe quietly gathering your energy just to prepare and ready yourself for spring, or for what those decisions are going to bring. Okay, so let me read a little more and then we'll get on to our mats. Now is the time to let anything in your life fall away that is no longer useful. I didn't read this. Okay. Or needed for the emerging expression of who you are. Allow yourself to gradually shed what has become a burdensome and no longer congruent with your soul's purpose. Conserve your energy by allowing yourself more rest, while at the same time making preparations for the next season. Look especially at your material possessions and be brutally honest with yourself as you discern which of these can be given away or somehow released. Consider shedding relationships that have served their purpose and are no longer vital, as well as work or a job that has become devoid of any interest or passion. With release comes a sense of being much lighter. Just like the trees, openly bearing their nakedness once their leaves have departed, and give room for whatever is to come next. Life is ready to, new life is ready to be birthed following a period of quiet and gestation, rest. So, let go of whatever has outlived its purposefulness and trust that something else will take its place. Cool. All right. It's just like planting that seed. It doesn't immediately pop up and become a flower, or piece of fruit or vegetable. It takes a little bit of time, a little bit of nurturing. So that's what we're going to do. So go ahead and find a seated position. We'll find a little bit of movement, and then we're going to get into those first postures of a restorative thing. And remember, too, that restorative is, there's a little bit more of me talking, but there's also some quietness and a little bit of movement gathering our props. So I'm going to try to get in and out so you have yourself nice ready to go. All right. So seated position. You can be lying down, too. What we're just going to do is gently lengthen that spine. Roll the shoulders up and down and back. And maybe let your hands come out to your side. Just find a little bit of movement with the neck, the head. And then gently bring it all into stillness. And maybe close your eyes and let them be downcast or heavy. You don't worry about what you're seeing. Maybe look inside. Make this an opportunity to really find those things that are in the corners, under the dust. Let them go. All right. Take a breath. Exhale, release. We breathe in light and gratitude and opportunity. And let it go. Just flow that breath in and out. Doing that quick little scan. Letting the breath be the mover of your energy in your body. And identify anything that's stuck. It doesn't need to be there anymore. Just let it go. Give yourself some space for new. Okay? Next breath in. Bring your hands up high overhead. We're going to exhale those hands into our heart center. And let's do that. Nice big reach out and sweep them up and exhale them down into your heart center. One more time. And gently we exhale. Hands to heart center. Set that intention. Maybe you found what you want to let go of, something you're going to work on this week, this while. Finding that purpose. And you've set that intention, and it's close. Let's open those eyes and push the hands up high overhead. Sit nice and long and tall through the spine. Bring your left hand to your right thigh and your right hand behind you. Just do a little bit of a torso twist. Easy peasy, nothing too deep. Just letting the body warm up. Breathing in and exhale out. One more breath in. One more breath out. Feels good. Back into center. Let the hands just return to your lap. Roll the shoulders and then drift the hands to the opposite side. So in this case, the right hand to left thigh and the left hand behind you. Don't fall back. Sit nice and tall. Breath in and out. Just breathing in as you guide yourself a little deeper into that twist. Doing it in threes. And then nice and easy, bring yourself back into center. Shoulders rolling up and down and back. Okay, we're going to walk the fingers out in front of us. Just walk them out. Drop them onto the earth right in front of your legs. Sit nice and long through that spine, arching through the belly, pushing the chin and head up. Very lightly controlling your strength with those fingertips. And exhale, roll the hips back, roll that spine back. Tuck the chin in and just find a seated cat. All right? We're going to roll yourself back up into that seated cow, filling up the lungs, and exhale into that seated cat. All right? Just kind of flex on the spine a little bit. One more time. Nice and easy. And back. Yeah, that's good. When you're down here in this seated cat for the last time, go ahead and move your head side to side, finding that little no nod. And then back into center, ending with a yes. Yes to new and releasing. All right, hands to the knees. I'm going to head and bring your blanket to your lap. Okay. So I have a yoga blanket, Mexican blanket, different things. And I've just kind of folded it up so that it's lengthwise. Not as long as my arms are, obviously, but it's going to be a little bit wider than my torso. And I'm just going to do is just gently roll it into a little bit of a tootsie roll, okay? And bath towel works really good. The bath towels are just about the right length for here, okay? So we just want a little bit of bulk, a little bit, so that we can lie this underneath the right under the arms. Essentially, it's going to stick out, kind of resting on our arms, and just give us a little bit of a curve through the spine, lifting it up when we're lying down. Okay, so I'm going to move my things just slightly off my mat, out of the way. I don't need my bolster, neither do you. Okay, And the blocks are off out of the way. Here goes the bolster. And what we're just going to do is lay it in about, I'd say about the third mark. Okay. So, I've divided my mat into thirds, maybe right at the quarter. And do then is I'm going to lie myself down onto my mat, and that blanket is extended sideways. Okay, almost looks like a T. Right, I'm going to bring my sits bones over to the mat and put them in the middle. And then bending the knees nice and easy, I'm just going to roll myself down onto that rolled up blanket. And as I lie down, I want it to be right underneath. Like I said, I'm going to bring the arms out. And I'm going to bring that blanket so that the back of the arm kind of touches the top on both sides. Now, the back of the head, you're just going to lie yourself down. Okay? Let's see how that feels. And it might feel a little wonky, so let's do this a little bit. We're lying down, our knees are to the sky. You're going to walk your feet out just a little bit. So separating those knees, walking the heels to the outer edges of the toes kind of drape off. All right, the arms are out like that big capital letter T. And then just gently windshield wiper the knees to the left and to the right. We're just going to flex that spine a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. Nice and slow. Just being mindful of any place that's sticky. And if you stick there, we just kind of give it a little love by pausing. All right. I'm just going to windshield wiper my knees until things start to relax and soften up in my shoulders. Yeah, the back of my head is on the mat. Everything's there. Okay. I got a couple more in me, I think. Yeah. It's nice and easy, restoring balance and love in the body. And if you can bring the leg, let the left leg come all the way over, that's cool. You don't have to, right? You just do what feels best for you, okay? All right, I'm going to do the left side one more time, and then I'm going to bring my knees back into center, okay? Yeah. The knees come into center. Adjust the feet a little bit, maybe walk them in closer to the sits bones. And then let the low back be heavy. A little bit of curve there. You wish like your belly button's pushing into your spine. Yeah, okay. Wiggle those fingers. All right. Now, what I want you to do is to bring your hands right up over your chest. Point your fingers to the sky. We're going to tap the thumbs together, making, and almost looks like a field goal. Remember playing that game? Okay. Let somebody kick a piece of paper and hoping it didn't hit you. And I'm just going to just connect the thumbs together and just touch the tips. And then bring your fingertips so that they're all together and your palms are nice and flat. We're going to reach up through those shoulders, extend the arms right up over our chest. The fingertips are touching the sky. Thumbs are still touched together. Right. And then gently just let everything settle back down. You're going to feel those shoulder blades kind of go ooh on that blanket, right? Feel them heavy. Okay. Don't bend your elbows. And then gently inhale and push fingertips up. Finding a little bit of that curve extended through the neck. Maybe even sliding down into the middle back. And then gently exhale, release. Nice and easy. Try to bring the shoulders closer to the earth. Yeah. One more time. Nice and big. Reach them up. Exhale, release. Nice and easy. This time, bend those elbows and bring your fingertips to opposite elbows. Right over your chest, like you're genie, the Aladdin genie, or making a wish, okay? And then I just want you to do is bring that right elbow over toward the right side. You're going to stretch that left arm. Don't worry about dropping the arm all the way down. You just feel where it starts to get a little bit of like, oh, that's it. Stop there. And back off a bit. And then maybe go back in a little deeper. Okay. I like to keep my eyes looking straight to the sky here. Okay. Just finding a stretch and feeling it actually right under that blanket. Feels good. Nice and easy. Bring the elbows back up over your chest. Feel everything reset. And then gently draw that left over toward the left side. Let the right arm get a nice big stretch here. Okay. And don't worry if your mobility is ever so different on each side. That's what makes you so wonderful. Yeah. Just feeling a nice big stretch down the ribs, down toward the hip. Breathing in and bring up elbows back up over the chest. Right. And then let the arms release. Those arms come out like a capital letter T. Maybe even feel yourself rolling the shoulders up and down and back. Yes, you can do this on your back. Let's go ahead and walk the feet closer together, so much so that the soles come together. And we're just going to let the knees open, kind of a butterfly on our back. Hi, Shar. Just finding a little bit of love here. Maybe doing a little bit of movement, dropping one knee over to the side and coming back into the center butterfly and letting the other knee go over to the side. Just a little bit of stretch in that glute, actually accentuating that IT band. A little love, ever so slight. Okay, really not even messing with my shoulders, just letting the low back and the hips get some love here. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, and when you come both sides, equal time, so you start on the right and on the left. Bring the knees back into center and walk your heels and feet out back into that normal position. All right, maybe even walk them a little wider. See if you want to do a little bit more windshield wiper in this time. 2 or 3 times. Yeah, feels so good, right? When you finish that second or third time, bring it back into center. Let the knees point to the sky. I'm almost there with you. Okay? And we're going to walk the heels so that they are even with our sits bones. So you don't feel like they're walked out too far, or walked too far close together. Just that perfect, nice balance. The knees are still pointed to the sky. Okay. Now, here comes an option. This posture, this next one we're going to do, you might want to let your legs go a little longer. I like to have my knees bent. Makes my body feel a little bit better. But play and explore what feels best for you. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my left hand up right over my body. I'm already warm there. And I'm gently going to do is bring that left hand over to the right side. And I'm just going to roll over onto my right hip, letting the knees, the legs kind of land one on the other. Now, if you want to, you can just kind of let that head be heavy. I'm going to use a block because I forgot to grab a pillow. I'm just going to tuck it under my head. Maybe I don't need it. You get another blanket. Just kind of feeling a nice little stretcher. Okay. Just checking in, doing that scan, saying, hey, I don't need this anymore, and let it go. Drop the leaves. Drop that stuff I don't need. Junk in the trunk. Yeah. Get ready for next. Okay. Scoot that up. I don't need that. I think I'm going to put my weight bag here. See what happens when you forget to grab your props. You just have to fake it, right? Well, that's better. Okay. Now gently bring that left hand back up over and let your body just kind of follow. Spine returns to the mat. I'm going to drop the left hand all the way over. All right. Now I'm going to turn my back to you. Not because I don't love you. Just moving. I'm going to bring that right hand up. And then gently going to bring it over to the left side of my body, dropping the knees over to the left. Trying to keep that left side of my head down on the mat. Okay. And what I notice is that my right side isn't quite as mobile. A little tenderness there. Probably a little bit of arthritis as we're getting older. So just kind of adjusting and bringing that pillow or blanket underneath your head. Just making the connection so nothing's hanging, okay? Got my hands palm to palm. My knees are just kind of laying each other, but, maybe it feels good to straighten out the legs. You do what feels best here, okay? Yeah, that's pretty good. Nice big belly breaths. Again, checking and finding any place that's ready to go. And, sometimes it's okay to be a little cautious. We don't want to be afraid too much. Fear holds us back. And then gently, let's bring herself back up, back onto her back, bringing that right hand up, and the knees back up to the sky. Okay. And then this time, I'm going to walk our so the right hand's out, left hand's out with that capital letter T. And walk the heels out to the edge of the mat and just drop the inside of the knee so the inseam of the legs come together. Okay. Maybe find a little bit of fluidness in that low back. Okay, a little cat-cow if that feels good. Let's just see. All right. The blanket actually just shifts the purpose of our spine and those muscles. Okay. Yeah. Nice and easy. All right. And your next exhale, when you're letting your back come back down to the earth, go ahead and heel toe your feet back in together. Let your knees separate. And then gently roll over to your right side. Maybe pulling your arm underneath your head this time. And the knees come toward your tummy. A nice fetal position. Oh, it feels so good. Just knowing that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Not going to sleep, but it sure feels like I could. All right. Gently bring your fingers right to the front of your face. Push them into the mat and onto the earth and bring yourself up into a seated position. Okay? What I do is bring our legs out in front of us, nice and long, nice and long. Just kind of stretch them a little bit. Maybe find a little separation at the heels. Adjust your clothing. Make sure things feel comfy. And then just not windshield wiper, we're just going to flutter the feet back and forth just a little bit. Roll the ankles. Find a little bit of movement in the shoulders. Maybe even shifting your weight so you're moving side to side. That feels pretty good. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. And then nice and easy, I want you to find a stillness. I'm going to take that blanket that you've elongated, and we're going to bring it underneath our knees. Okay. Now I'm going to sit on my mat a little off center. But you sit however it feels best for you. Okay. Mine is just mostly for the camera. Okay. And the reason that we put this blanket underneath the knees is that it helps as we're separating our legs just a little bit wider, almost 1.5 times my shoulders. I guess there's shoulders and whoop. What it does is it helps behind the knees so that they don't hyperextend and that there's not that stress on the backs of the knees. Okay. And I'm just going to reach over and grab my bolster because I can. So if you need to move off your blanket, you can. Okay. And I'm bring the bolster right in front of me. I'm also going to just reach over here and grab one and then two of my blocks. Okay. All right. And I'm just going to have them close. Maybe separate them out. So blankets underneath the knees. Just kind of there. And if you don't have a blanket, you could put a small couch pillow underneath just so that they're not flat. It just helps all of the muscles and they feel so much better, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my blocks, move the bolster out of the way. I'm going to put it pretty much about the same distance as my knees. And I'm going to turn it into the middle spot. Now, if you have a pillow, this works too. You can put a small pillow right here. Okay. And I'm going to take my other block and kind of make a little, I don't know, staircase. All right. So from here, I'm going to take my bolster and I'm just going to lay it right in front of me. Now, if you don't have a bolster, you can roll up a big quilt and you roll it right in there. Okay. So, and another place that works really good is if you have another blanket, you can put it right here on the bolster. Okay. We're just going to do a little bit of supported forward fold. So what you to do is bring your elbows onto that bolster. Just kind of, chopping elbow rest it right there and onto the bolster. Okay. So instead of bringing my belly all the way down, what I've done is I'm using my my elbows to kind of get my body comfortable and to trust myself. And I've pushed that bolster so that it's right at the highest point of the V between my legs. Okay. So as close to me as I can get it. And these blocks are just supporting it. Okay. And it's nothing crazy. My knees are supported. Kind of get my sits bones settled and flat into the earth. And then what I do is just drop my elbows down onto that bolster. Okay. Make sure everything's set. Sometimes it likes to shift. Okay. I got the bolster. And see how it's kind of just adjusting a little bit. All right. And then you can just stay right here. Maybe cross the arms and just let them lay there and start to lean forward. Okay. Just kind of see how this feels. Maybe bring that chin in toward your chest. Right. This feels really good. So all I did was just take the arms and I just put my fingers on one side of the bolster opposite and the elbows. And so it's just kind of draped. Okay. I'm going to tuck that chin in toward my chest. Maybe bring the forehead down to the backs of your wrists. Now, if your mobility doesn't get you here, just back it off a bit. And bring those forearms, elbows down. Maybe interlace your fingers so that nothing slides. And just tuck your chin in toward your chest, okay? Just working on that forward mobility. Maybe giving a little bit of extra love to the low back and to the hips. Feeling it down, the hamstrings down to the knees. Go ahead and move your feet a little bit. Use that breath to open up the beautiful back, strengthening your rib cage. Okay. And you can adjust the hands a little bit. Maybe you think, you know what, I can go a little deeper. Maybe you walk your fingers toward the top of your bolster, or even let them come down alongside your thighs and bring the forehead down. Now I've got my microphone, so I can't bring it all the way down, but you could even do is turn and let the right cheek come down to that bolster. Just feeling a nice open, seated forward fold and supported. Okay. And you can bring that chin back into center and turn and bring the left ear over to the bolster. Okay. Whole idea is nothing is hanging. Those big breaths moving through the shoulders, sliding down through the middle back, down toward the hips. Feeling the energy roll down the knees that are supported by that blanket, down the calves, down to your ankles. Maybe move your feet a little bit, nice circles, and flutter those toes. Turn your forehead back and just resting in that center position, maybe even wanting to back yourself out a little bit. Okay. Bring the hands and arms to the bolster. Just breathing any place that's tight, no longer serving you. Let it go, release it. Yeah. It's so good. Separating your teeth. Kid you not. Hold so much tension on our jaws and our necks. Let it go. Nice, easy breath out. And gently, if you haven't already, start to walk those hands up underneath your chest and just kind of let your elbows support you. Start to press yourself up, nice and easy. Feel your breath. Right. Before you get too far up, maybe let the elbows be supporting you on that bolster. Move the head side to side. Whoa, baby, it feels good. And then the hands on the bolster. Sitting tall here. I'm going to bring my hands behind my hips. Just press them into the earth. And just kind of roll my spine. Giving a nice flex to that forward fold. roll my ankles. And then gently walk it back in. Roll the shoulders and smile. Okay. All right. Now we're going to do is wherever you are, I'm going to turn mine. And if you were a smart cookie, set yourself up for reclining goddess. Cool. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the blanket out of the way. I'm going to put it down. And I'll set my bolster up onto my mat using that little stacking system, turning my bolster. And I'm going to take my blanket and I roll it underneath my knees because that felt awesome. Oh, hi, Charlotte. You see her? She's right here. She says hi, guys. Okay. You cut how big a fish? That big? Okay. So I'm going to put this blanket underneath where my knees are going to be. And you can adjust it. Okay. Scooch my bum in. We're going to get ready to go into reclining goddess to end up our restorative yoga. Okay. So blankets underneath the knees. You might even want to roll in the edges to kind of fluff it up, almost like it were a bolster. Okay, just a little bit. Okay, the bolster is right at my low back, and I've got those blocks up. Now, if you roll down and this is a little bit too high, you can always remove the blocks and just roll back down onto your bolster. But I'm just going to let that bolster support me. Oh, yeah. And my arms just kind of hang here. You stick a blanket underneath your elbows. Grab another. Oh, excuse me. Got this. It's one of the things that's nice at home. You got all these props. What to do, right? Stick a blanket. Put it under my arm. Adjust that blanket under my knees. And take a big breath in. And exhale, let it go. Breath in. Releasing anything that's still there. Let it go. Oh. Last time, big breath in. And this time, feel that energy, whatever you're releasing, float out the tips of your toes, at the tips of your fingers. And shine your light, being ready for what's next. Enjoy your reclining goddess as you're wrapping up Shavasana. Stay right here. Let yourself open. Feel yourself ready to receive. Take it all in. Right here, enjoying these last few breaths of your reclining goddess Shavasana. The card we drew was autumnal equinox, Release. In many areas of the world, deciduous trees prepare for winter and conserve their energy by contracting their life force. That is, they release their leaves, which have required the rays of the sun and nourishment from the earth in order to maintain their robust growth and appearance. It's not a decision the tree made, at least not the usual sense of making a decision. Instead, it's a natural response to the decreasing cycle of light that sets up the gradual and steady release of the leaves. How remarkable is it that these trees, and for that matter, that all of Earth's mother children, simply know what to do with the changes in the climate. Although the season shifts appears to be the death of sorts, it really isn't. It's only a preparation for the next cycle of life, one that will naturally follow the more extreme contractions of winter as an aspect of life, death, rebirth cycle that we find represented in so many different ways. Now is the time to let anything go in your life that you need to just let it fall away. It's no longer useful or needed, that is emerging, that's needed for an emerging expression for who you are. Allow yourself and allow yourself to gradually shed what has become burdensome and no longer congruent with your soul's purpose. Conserve your energy by allowing yourself more rest, while at the same time making preparation for the winter season to be followed by spring. Look especially for your material possessions and be brutally honest with yourself as you discern which of these can be given away or somehow released. Consider shedding relationships that have served their purpose and are no longer viable, as well as work at or a job that has become devoid of interest or passion. With release comes a sense of being such as lighter, and just like those trees, openly bear their nakedness once the leaves have departed and given room for whatever new life is ready to come. So let go of whatever has outlived its purposefulness and trust that something else will take its place. Gently bring your awareness back. I want you to find a little bit of flex with your feet and roll of the wrists. And you can stay right here in this reclining goddess for your Shavasana as we close our practice. You're at home. But when you're ready, just be mindful of where you are and gently bring yourself over and up into a seated position. Right. We're going to close our practice nice and easy by bringing your hands high overhead and letting those palms come together and exhaling into our heart center. Namaste means the light in me honors the light in you. And I do. I honor the light, the love, beauty, truth, kindness in you, because it's in me too. And with these things shared, there's nothing different or distant between us. We are the same and one. From my very grateful heart to yours. Namaste. Thanks for spending time with me. I hope that was enjoyable. I hope you feel the place for rebirth, that release opening up. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Drink your water. And until I see you, know you're missed and sending you love. Bye.